Wednesday. Happy Wine
Woohoo!
Wednesday.
Happy Wine Wednesday. Carl's Wine Club members, Canadian
Cheers.
wine lovers across the country, all of you. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wine O'Clock Wednesday. Happy hour. We are up for a good show today. We're not in the office. Where are we, Mira?
Victoria, BC, in a jungle somewhere. It looks like you are anyway.
Pretty cool, eh?
It's amazing. Beautiful out here. There's actually 30 wineries in this up and coming little wine region. So we're going to do some more exploring in the coming week.
Looking forward to do our little wine tour here in the Cowichan Valley. I can't wait. I saw that I got a few reservations booked on my calendar. It's just popping up a little bit more and more. So it's going to be a fun week coming up. Today, we are talking about SKAHA Vineyard.
Woo.
So Crazy Legs SKAHA Vineyard out of Caledon, BC. We're going to talk about what we have going on this week. We'll talk about a little bit of the rating system. We'll talk about a little bit of Golden Mile wine from Oliver, BC. So, yeah, maybe we won't go too long today. I'm not expecting to go more than an hour. Hopefully, we have 3 kids at the beach waiting for us pretty close by. And also, we're going to do a pretty cool little giveaway today. Look at that, what we have here.
That is so cool.
So
Canadian honey and lemons, and apparently you add this little paste to your hot water and it tastes just like really good tea, but it's super fast.
There you go. So
we
pretty
found it
cool
at the
stuff.
farmer's market.
So everyone who comment today, or everyone who have buy a SKAHA wine pack, who's buying a SKAHA pack during the live today, will be entered to our draw at the end of the day. So this is a pretty cool thing here. So to make a little tea. But yeah, been tasting some pretty cool wine lately. I want to update you on our tasting, update you on some pretty cool stuff. But what I have in my glass here, we're tasting something pretty special. We have a back vintage here. We have a library release exclusively for Carl's Wine Club. And I think I may have a Wine of the Year candidate in my glass here. It's May happening.
That's pretty big deal. We just took a sip before we came on. So that's pretty spectacular that you can tell that right away, Carl.
So pretty cool wine here in my glass. 50% Merlot, 50% Cabernet Franc, 100% estate grown. The Equus. I don't know if I pronounce it Equus. How would you pronounce?
I think it has something to do with horses, right? Like the whole theme is around wild horses.
Yeah. So how would you pronounce it?
I don't know. Equestrian. Equus.
I
don't know.
Okay, now I'm sending a help, like a request for help here to our people. How would you pronounce that? Okay, so because I don't want to make a fool of myself for an hour talking about something, and every time I pronounce it, everyone's laughing. So that's something like I'm not in the business of. So if someone can tell me how you pronounce Equus or something, I don't know.
Equus.
That's my man out of Ontario, Windsor, Ontario. The average wine enthusiast, my buddy, my friend, Mike Laplante. Mike, welcome. Thanks for tuning in again, and thanks for the tip. So Equus.
Yeah, Linda, we can't wait to meet in person. That's going to be fun. And she says she's passing on the offer, but she managed to find. Linda has this knack for finding really rare wines at liquor stores. She got a 2018 Merlot and 2018 Impulsion.
Yeah, the Impulsion was not available for offer due to a very, very small quantity this year. They did not have enough. And when Jerry, the owner, saw my my disappointment in my face when we were chatting, he's like, okay, 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 I will do something special. So that's how he released some 14 of the library. So I think at the end, we kind of win. We kind of won on my disappointments. But yeah, so oh no, see, you know what, Mira? Now the smell is complete. It's just it's going away.
Yeah. So as we, Carl does this thing just to test the wine, and he just pops and pours it and then decants it if it needs it. And this time we got a little teeny bit of barnyard at the beginning, but after about it's been 15 minutes now, an hour?
Yeah, but I popped the wine at 3:30, but I didn't move it, right? I just popped the cork and I let it sit while I was doing other thing, aka relaxing. And while my wife, aka my business partner, aka the other girl, like on the screen, she took the kids for a bike ride, and I was like sitting at the in-laws when they were having a nap, just relaxing. And I told myself, "Oh, this is the life."
Yeah.
So it was pretty but I've been tasting wines and writing notes, tasting notes while you guys were drinking and chatting for a major part of the day. So I don't feel bad about that.
Yeah. You had such a tough job. We just
someone has to do it, right?
I know. And you had to sit there and actually like express yourself and
That's it.
I know.
And update people like on like the family around me, like what do I get on the palette and what's that mean? So it's a tough job. It's a really, really tough job.
Marcel's here. Hey, Marcel. He's talking cryptically. He's talking in URLs. He put a YouTube URL there. That's probably a YouTube about how to pronounce Equus.
All right. So now we have Equus, and someone said Equus, but there's a W pronunciation here. So we're up to something. The 2014 outstanding wine here in my glass. That's what I'm drinking. Honestly, this is old world style here on the nose. A lot of barnyard, but it's dissipating here, like it's going away. So pretty good, and lots of black cherries, a lot. Cassis black cherry. I got a load of chocolate brownies, coffee espresso grind. I have cedar box. I have pipe tobacco. So these are some licorice also. So I got these component here, pretty tightly knit at the moment, but we'll see down the stretch here another 15-20 minutes before I give you a score and a little bit more of a description on what I have. But I'm gonna get, because I had one sip, and
so listen to this, okay? So this is how to pronounce Equus on YouTube.
Equus.
Do you hear that? Equus. Equus. See, it gives you the male and the female sounds of it. So, Equus. 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 See?
Equus.
Thanks, Marcel. Equus. So I think Marcel, Mike, you guys get like an extra high five. You guys got it right. And what does it mean, Benita? That's the next question. So I'm going to look that up. But like I said, I think it has to do with the equestrian theme, right? So
I think so. Oh wow, there's so much spice in there on the finish. So this is pretty good. Really, really good. There's great texture, so I can't wait for this to evolve a little bit throughout our conversation, and I might have a little sip of this after we finish talking. This is a white port or Port Madura style, 100% Merlot fortified dessert wine. It's aged for 50 months in neutral oak. This is the Rogue 2016. This is the new vintage. Last year, I gave in my top 10 wine of the year, that Rogue, SKAHA Vineyard Rogue, was in my how do you call that? My runner-up. So my honorable mention list. So I had 5 wines on the honorable mention, with, I think there was the Collusion White Black Market wine. There was definitely, that was the Rogue 2015 that I gave it 92 plus or 93 points last year. This is the new release of the 2016. Fantastic. I reviewed it on our notes on our website for the offer this week. So this week we are featuring SKAHA Vineyard Crazy Leg Vineyard out of Caledon, BC. So where is Caledon? Caledon is located, I would say, probably 15 minutes past Penticton on your way down south, just before you hit Okanagan Falls, half an hour before Oliver. Okay, so between Penticton and Oliver, if you go to the Similkameen Valley to go to Caramios, where you turn right on your way south, it's just like a couple minutes. You turn left, and it's a small little hamlet. At the moment, there's a few growers, and they're like anonymous, like, the growers, the people who grow the grapes, the people who are exclusively grape grower are the people who work in the shadow of this industry. Because we always think that if you own a vineyard, if you own a winery, well, you grow grape. No, this is not the case. There's many people out there, many companies or many families who, what they do, they just grow grape and sell their grapes to wineries under long-term contract, one-time shot, or whoever wants to pay the most, but also becoming one of the very sought-after grape grower in the valley. It's a very lucrative business, because more and more great wineries who sell out of their wine, they always look some of them are always on the lookout to buy some great grapes. So in Caledon, there's a few families who grow grapes that we had the privilege to meet last week on Friday. We did something pretty cool last Friday. We went to Black Market Wine Company with our very good friend Rob Amersley and Michelle. What they do every Friday, they do Friday wine happy hour, where when they shut down the tasting room, Sue and Jerry from SKAHA Vineyard come over, and some few guests, and everyone brings a blind taste, a bottle on blind taste. So wrapped up bottle in the plastic, in the brown bag, and everyone do blind taste, and we chat about the wine, and we eat some good food, and we have fun. So anyhow, we've done that last week, and so we were right there. And there is my friend Karen Chapman here, who works at SKAHA Vineyard Crazy Leg, and also work at Black Market. So the whole story here, what I'm saying, so we met some pretty cool, the Chris Scott, I believe, is a grape grower in Caledon. And so Caledon has, at the moment, 2 known winery. Black Market Wine Company, good friend of the show, very well known throughout our membership. We already done 2 features with them, 1 regular feature, 1 flash feature with the Syrah 3-way, and there's also SKAHA Vineyard Crazy Legs. So these are the 2 wineries in Caledon, small little hamlet here, really cool little place. Like Mike said, like a great little community to live in. Absolutely wonderful. And there's a beautiful beach right down the hill, where pretty much all of the village go every night during the summer, and people bring their barbecue, and people just like share food and chat, and like it's in the beach, the water is warm down there. So the Bouchers, since we have moved in the Okanagan, pretty much once a week, we pack the car and we just go to the beach in Caledon. And so anyhow, we met with Sue and and Jerry a few months ago and tasted their wine, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. We need to do that with the club, and we finally put stuff together, because the problem, if it's ever a problem, I don't know if people will think it's a problem. Sometimes I think it's a problem, but a good problem to have is the quantity. They produce outstanding wine. They produce terroir-driven wine, but in very small quantity. I think the biggest batch of wine that they're doing on their lineup is probably the Pinot Blanc or the Mystic, and it's 200 cases. So a 200 cases, like example, the 2017 Equus, I think there's 50 cases of that wine released. So now we're talking about very, very small quantity. And this is the new release with the 2020 whites, 2018 reds, and also the 17 Equus and their library release. Plus, we have a couple of dessert wine on the list. So this is a very cool lineup that I'm super excited about for a few reasons. And when you visit the area, you kind of realize like how special it is, because you're overlooking the SKAHA Lake. SKAHA Lake, it's like the lake between because now I'm talking mostly for our friends in the eastern part of the country who probably have a good understanding of the Okanagan, but it's not necessarily that, like, if you live there and you know exactly from north to south where is where. So north, whereas Kelowna, you have the Okanagan Lake, the main lake, the big lake. So like I like to always joke with my kids, the big lake where Ogopogo lives. But yeah, so Kelowna and Penticton, the first part, like where's the Naramata Bend she's located, it's the Okanagan Lake. After, between the Okanagan Lake and the Osoyoos Lake, the one all the way down south by the American border, there's the SKAHA Lake. SKAHA Lake with the SKAHA Bench. So on the other side of Penticton. And this is where it's a little bit less unknown. It's a little bit more of a region who are, I would say, is an upcoming region, in the sense that you have wineries like Painted Rock. You have wineries like Pantage, Blasted Church. So these are on the other side of the lake. And when you switch from the other side, it's where Caledon is located, and it's Black Market, and it's SKAHA Vineyard, Crazy Legs. And where they're located, the soil is so very different. These are like, oh, Mira, you're here. Did you
Been here the whole time, but running to get a water and stuff.
There you go.
The soil
And
is crazy on this side. I haven't seen this kind of stuff on the other side of the lake, but look at this, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Those are the fossils that you find throughout their site. They're like everywhere. We found these in the parking lot. They're everywhere. They're beautiful fossils of all kinds of different ferns and leaves, right? They say they dated them somewhere between 35 and 50 million years or so old.
Yeah. So into these rocks that you just seen, you can see the clear fossils. This is really, really cool. So yeah. So the vineyard on its own, I think for me, that's how the wines are so special. There's such like that burst of minerality, that burst of like, sometimes you feel like you're tasting something who really means something for a place. And that's what happened to me when I taste SKAHA Lake was SKAHA Vineyard Crazy Legs, because the wines are so precise. The wines are so pinpoint focused that it tells me like the soil is just an awesome place to grow things, and it's really unique from the area. So yeah, so for me, that's how I really describe it. Now the nose is almost 100% gone, so I'm getting like the black cherries and lots of dark chocolate right now, and licorice.
Yeah, the nose is so different than when we first opened it, right?
Absolutely, the black cherry really stand out right now.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
So yeah, just to review a little bit of the package. Mira, can you please give us? I need to involve you a little bit more here because I feel like I've been talking for 21 minutes.
Ah,
Do you want to talk a little bit about what your research led you about Jerry and Sue and SKAHA Vineyard and their location, and a little bit about what you've learned with your research?
sure. I think it's always fun to know who the people making the wine are. And what I love about Jerry and Sue Thigesen is about 14 years ago, they had successful careers in the corporate sector and they decided they want a change of pace. Sue loves horses, and they had horses down in the States where they were living. I believe Jerry was a marketing executive for a long time. He worked with fruit companies, dried fruits. He worked down in the States as a marketing executive. I think Sue, she had like a photography business. Anyway, the both of them decided, you know what, we need a change of pace. Let's go up to the property we have in Caledon, which they had bought years previously, and let's replant it to vine and run a winery. So I think these decisions, these like ideas, they're crazy. These are dreams, right? I love being a part of it. And the really cool thing about the two of them is they have this instinctive style of winemaking. They're not formally trained. They've been in wine for many, many decades and really into wine and, you know, making wine previous to owning a winery in different ways. But this was their first go at like having an estate, planting it, and then from there, after a few years, harvesting their first grapes and making wines. And their wines from the get-go just are wonderful. Like Gismondi visited them, a few years back, and said he was just stunned at the complexity, the freshness, the beauty in these wines. They're just wonderful. And they're all low intervention. They really respect the land, the place, and they just make wonderful wines. So we were so thrilled to discover them. It's not often you see wines with like 50 cases produced, because most wineries will tell you can't, you know, it's not like a financial decision to do 50 cases because you're probably not going to make a ton of money that way. It's a passion decision. It's to say, that's what I can do with what the land has given me, and to be able to know that I'm going to produce the highest possible quality from this land, right? And so I love that. It's a real treat for us.
It is a real treat for us, and I'm getting into the taste of that beauty here. Wow, there's the length and the complexity of that wine. It's absolutely crazy. There's so much, but there's such a nice Bordeaux aspect to it. This is not the fruit bomb. This is not that big fruity like cherry bomb or whatever it is. No, there's a lot of old world in there, and the length to me, like, you know, sometimes it's fun to get like that big richness, super voluptuous, like full of volume type of wine, but this is completely like more on, like when you stretch something super long, right? You can have that big juicy, or you can have that super lengthy, and this one is really lengthy. The grip snap tube, and I don't know, I can't use snap because it's not snappy. It's very it's super silky, but just grab you at the beginning and last, and like, it's not just a snappy grainy tannin, and it's just what beautiful silky fluffy tannin all the way to the end, and the spice get going and going. So it's really, really fun. Let's go fast and furious here. I want to talk about their unoaked Chardonnay, their Pinot Blanc, the Mystic, and the Rosé to start, okay? Because they sorry about that. Hi. Okay, a little throat problem here. There you go. This is my little Victoria sparkly drink. So rosé, a nice rosé of Merlot and a splash of Pinot Blanc. Under 10 at under 10 of Mira, do you have the lays, the overlays, or I'm just going
yeah, we've got them. Yeah, I was just chatting with Vanita, Mike here about the shipping. We have with the smaller producers, sometimes the shipping is a little closer to what reality is. But we never ever pay full price as a club, like what the actual shipping costs. But we do let the wineries charge a little bit to make up for it, because otherwise a lot of the smaller producers like SKAHA have a hard time giving us free shipping, because they do have to pay for it. And usually shipping's anywhere from 25 to 75 bucks a pack. And they're giving us, I think with SKAHA, it's 15 bucks BC, Alberta, and 20 everywhere else. And it's flat fee. If you want to kind of increase that, it stays the same. And Vanita's also asking, I really like red wine. Do I have to buy the mixed pack? Not at all. So there's a custom pack option you can check off. It's at the very top of the order form. And if you check off custom pack, you can just pick whichever wines you want. So
and I think that's what really set us apart compared to other club, and now there's many more popping up since the pandemic. But I think the customization and the empowerment that we give to our member, and I think like for them to choose exactly, a lot of them, I would say 60 to 70% will go for the set pack, but we still have a good 30 to 30% to 40% who choose the custom mix pack because they really love the different option. And more, and you're seeing that since probably, I would say, since Siren's Call offer, we have more and more choices into what we do. At the beginning, there was just the 6-pack. After that, we went with maybe 1 or 2 bonus pick, and now we're like with this one, there's 4 different options into the bonuses. So it's pretty exciting. So it allows us to open up a little bit more different different style of wines. A little bit more tasting work, though. I have to do more tasting notes. I hate that part.
No, you don't.
I don't.
It means we have to taste more wines. It's fantastic. Vanita's saying this wine pairs well with Thai food. Which one? The Equus?
No, I would say probably. I think she's probably talking with the rosé, the Equus. I'm not there yet. I have, I probably the rosé if I remember. So Mira, let's get the
rosé. Is that the one?
If you can put the overlay for the rosé, we'll do rosé first. We'll do the Pinot Blanc for a second, and we'll do the Chardonnay third. Are you okay with that?
Sounds great.
There you go. And so, I think that was the residual. So we're at under 10 gram of residual sugar. We're sitting at 9, so it's not sweet. Just a tad of dry at the end, whereas there's a little bit of maraschino cherry, I would say. But it's a blend of Merlot, Pinot Blanc, dry all the way through, almost through the end. There's just a little bit, but it's fresh. It's very versatile, that in the sense that you even have a little bit of tannin from the Merlot. There's some earthiness in there, but there's also some pineapple who's coming in, brought by the Pinot Blanc. So there's a wide range of flavors, but also very versatile at the table. Spicy food works very well with that type of wine. But also skewers and flavored sausage on the grill, because this with smokiness, even with ribs. So because it's made with Merlot, a red wine, there's more backbone into that rosé. Very, 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 very versatile. So I gave it a 91 point. I was super pleased with that. And for people who are making fun at me here about tasting notes, I had to taste that wine on a Tuesday morning at 6:45 a.m. So you tell me if it's an easy job that I have.
Deborah's willing to help us out. Thanks, Deborah. That's
There
awesome.
you go. There you go. So that's as for the rosé. The rosé is sold out. You cannot order, or you cannot just show up at the tasting room and say, I want a case of rosé. It's sold out, completely sold out. So that's why we have the last little bit of the rosé from SKAHA for this year. It was something like 125 cases of it. Carl's Wine Club gets the leftover, get the rest. We had a little stash just for us, so we're privileged. We're super happy, and yeah, get some rosé. We've been seeing that through the day today. Some people ordering a 6-pack of rosé because it's your last chance. And 2020 vintage is an outstanding vintage, even if it's not the dream vintage from Ontario. Here in BC, 2020 was a great vintage. So 2020 rosé will last. This one, because it's Merlot based, usually I always suggest a rosé from the vintage. If it's a 2020, drink it the year after, so the 2021 or one more year. But because it's a Merlot base, an extra year in your cellar never will not be anything wrong with that.
That's
Let's
good to
move
know.
on.
Hey, Vanita's asking what cheese would you pair that with? Because we already know she thinks it goes so well with Thai food, coconut curry. I can't, my mouth's watering. But cheese, I feel like we need to get more cheeses out with these wines.
Yeah, I will probably do that because it's Merlot based at the tad, but a little bit of sweetness at the end. I would not. You know what? Brie cheese, camembert will be good. Also, maybe something a little bit nutty. Some Avellino, something like the Spanish cheese. What's the name of that?
Manchego?
Manchego, exactly, will be great with that. So very versatile. Again with the cheese, you can go with hard cheese, and don't go with the cheddar, the older cheddar or old Gouda. I will keep that for the Chardonnay. But maybe smoked Gouda with there, though. You know, the one that Josh really like. We have one of our son really likes the smoked Gouda, and I think with that will be pretty good too. So, but Manchego with a little bit of nuttiness. So yeah, that will be my my go-to. Moving from the rosé,
good suggestions here.
The Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc was my favorite white. Is my favorite white on the whole list here. Since I tasted SKAHA the first time, and the first time I tasted personally SKAHA was on the 19 vintage, and the Pinot Blanc was my favorite of the lineup. 2020, it's the same thing. Hey, we can debate which one prefer best, which one is your favorite. A lot, like when I'm talking to Karen Chapman, works the tasting room and works in the vineyard at SKAHA, and she always said, Carl, I don't understand why, but the everybody's favorite, it's the Mystic. Mystic is the blend of Chardonnay Pinot Blanc. But personally, I love the Pinot Blanc because you know what? There's not many great Pinot Blanc straight varietal on the market. Sometimes they're off balance, sometimes they're a little sweet, sometimes they're bland, a little bit like the Pinot Gris sometimes. But this one, to me, it's maybe the best Pinot Blanc in the valley, 100% varietal. If I'm not mistaken, I think I give it a 92 points on this one. Is it
wine RS 3.7?
Man, it's bone dry. Very important to notice at 3.7 gram of residual. I give it a 91. So yeah, 91 points, 200 cases produced. So this is also has a nice. There you go. Thanks, Karen. Bright acidity, crisp. Yes, the classic Okanagan acidity. I think I mentioned it in my tasting notes as well. Bright, but there's also nice tropical flavors from the beginning. The pineapple, a little bit of, I almost joke when Mira's around and then my friend Rob Amersley, some guava. I don't know what guava tastes, for God's sake.
I do, and I do get that sometimes.
So yes. I like the pineapple there. There's a little bit of wet gravel, that minerality, who really like gets me, like snapped me a nice, beautiful, bright acidity as well. So there's a complexity in there. And actually,
Benita, you're just coming in here with the great pairing ideas, and you're making me super hungry. She says pad thai with that one.
come on, you didn't have enough of our awesome zucchini, stuffed zucchini for lunch today?
Oh my gosh.
That
We
was
had
pretty good.
fresh picked zucchini. So whoever has like tons of zucchinis right now, look up stuffed zucchini recipes. And we substituted, my dad made this. It was phenomenal in like 20 minutes. Boiled instead of baked, so it took way less time. And and we substituted mushrooms for the meat because we didn't have meat. Perfect. With what do we have? Sauv Blanc earlier, right?
So with that, yeah, we had a barrel aged, barrel fermented Sauvignon Blanc. It was absolutely off the chart. I chopped off two little hot pepper that I put in my blend, and it was it was glorious. And then when I did this pairing took the wine to the absolutely next level. It was something else. Anyway, this is from Tinhorn Creek that we're going to feature next week. There's a very special. Anyway, let's keep going on this one.
Karen has a good insight on this because she goes to this winery very often, even works in the tasting room sometimes. SKAHA's Pinot Blanc is growing on a 30-degree slope, which is really steep, which is awesome for concentration of the flavors, right, Carl?
Absolutely. And when I'm talking about the gorgeous precision of these wines at SKAHA, that's part of it, because the water, there's no water retention there. The water flows down the hill right away. So the vines are very stressed. The vines get super concentrated, low yield, and very focused, very specific varietal specific flavors. And yeah, the Pinot Blanc to me is probably the most pinpoint Pinot Blanc that I get from the Valley. So this is my favorite of the white lineup. And also we have a unoaked Chardonnay that, again, when we're talking about purity of the fruit, that's what we have. It's so funny because we had another Chardonnay today when I was doing tasting notes for another winery. There's so many things you can do with Chardonnay. And this one here in that pack is at the one end of the spectrum when we talk acidity. It's lemon, it's green apple, it's Granny Smith. Many other Chardonnays, sometimes you get pineapple, mango, roundness. No, this is laser focus. This is cutthroat acidity. It's as lemony, zippy, mineral. There's that crushed gravel again that I talk into the Pinot Blanc that you get into the Chardonnay as well. So we got that Chardonnay on one end of the spectrum, unoaked, really laser focused, 90 points. So great price point as well. All of the white are at $24. So
that's including tax, right? Which makes a big difference. That's like a
exactly all of it, right? So this, to me, are great white. And there's also into the bonus pick, there's the Mystic. The Mystic is a blend of the 50-50 of the Chardonnay and the Pinot Blanc. Just put the two together, okay? I talk about the Pinot Blanc, round, tropical, and you had that 50% of that laser focus acidity, so that makes it for a beautiful blend. We got a couple of orders like people went for the extra Mystic into the pack. So yeah, for people who knows about SKAHA Vineyard, Mystic is one, like Karen always tell me, Carl, it's everybody's favorite. So anyhow, that's for the white. Moving on to the red, we have Merlot and Cab Franc. So the Merlot and the Cab Franc, both are 2018, both rated 90 and 91 points. I think if I remember correctly,
You did 89 for the Merlot and the Cab Franc. I don't have your rating.
no, not rated yet. That's what I had because I had Karen rated it for me. We had a little issue with the bottle, but Merlot and both Cab Franc, it's it's a little bit more old world style. We get more of the mushroom, we get more of the minerality, the dirt. So that's the style of the winery. They are not on the big fruit bomb. It's actually completely the opposite. The spice are great in both wines. Um, the also the I like the tobacco aspect. The middle palate is filled with herbs, so fresh herbs. It's into the program as well in the mid palate, and both wine have great length and great complexity. And these two are put together to do the Equus. Equus, 50% Merlot, 50% Cabernet Franc. These wines are aged for 24 months in oak barrel. So we get in there a lot of length and complexity. That's to me this year. That's probably at the top, like at the top tier, definitely of my old world expression of the Okanagan Valley. Bright Okanagan acidity, beautiful minerality, and the length and precision are tremendous. 17 vintage, I gave it a 92 plus point, almost 93. Like I explained in my notes, I think that 2024 will be where the Equus 17 will be at its prime. At that point, I'm expecting that wine to hit closer to the 94 points, at least gain an extra point and a half, get close to 95, because this one has a ton of potential. And if it aged like his big brother, the 2014, now I see exactly. That's funny how it happened, right? Because when I taste wine, I always try to project in the future. And what I was projecting with the 27, I'm tasting the 2014 for the first time. That's exactly what I was hoping when I'm hoping for the 2017. That length, that complexity, that charcoal, that pipe tobacco leaves, licorice. I don't know, do you get licorice in there?
Yeah, and I get the like almost, I don't know, macerated cherries, like dark cherries for sure.
Yeah, the black cherry.
It's really enjoyable on the nose now.
But to me, the nose is still a little bit muted. There's not a ton on the nose, but the palate, the pencil. Oh, I get some pencil lead. No, also now.
Yeah,
graphite.
Bit of pencil shavings almost. Like that minerality is really obvious. It's great. We're back to the 14. Put that on our screen.
So we're 544 right now. So we're close to a score.
Yeah, let's get that score, baby.
Because of the length, because of the complexity, and also for me, it's the finish, the spicy finish who goes on and on and on. That espresso grind, I give it a 93. This is an awesome wine. It's 6 years of age right now. I will give that wine another 3 to 4. If you have a 14 in your cellar, I would say open it now or next year. 2 years max if you're a person who likes their wine in their prime window of drinkability. If you like it on the back end, if you like wines with a little bit more secondary aromas, secondary flavors, a little bit of oxidation, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of more of the past tannin. I like it bright acid. I like bright acid. I like snappier tannin. So to me, there's aspect is another 2 years. After that, we'll go on to the a little bit more older style wine. But 93 points on this one. Love the texture, and I love the old world aspect of that SKAHA Equus 2014.
Fantastic. So Vanita's mentioning something interesting. She says, would it pair well with dark chocolate? And Vanita, I have not gotten such an amazing dark chocolate flavor on the length of a wine before. Like, I don't taste as many wines as Carl, but there's something really special about the finish on that wine.
Yeah, the finish is very special.
It is, yeah. What would you say, Carl? Would it pair well with dark chocolate?
Absolutely, 100%. Like this little chocolate ganache. You know what we had at Fitzpatrick Winery? That dessert.
Yes.
With that,
yeah,
will be great. Or just like dark cocoa. Yes, absolutely, 100%. And people will say, okay, why it's not higher? If I don't go to 95, well, like all the way up to 95 or 94, it's maybe doesn't have the richness and the texture, but definitely has the length and the complexity. So it may be missing a few small aspect to make it go like all the way to the top. I think that the 17 has a little bit more potential than what I got here, to be a little bit more well-rounded. But this is a tremendous 6-year-old wine. I really enjoy that. These are 93 points. To me, that's the one of the top ladder to be a rock star wine. That's where you start when we talk about something extremely serious, where pretty much all of these big flagship wine, we're talking about Red Icon, Nota Bene, Mirage from Desert Hill. We're talking about the Syndicate from Black Market, talking about Oculus, talking about like these top tier from each winery. Or SKAHA Equus absolutely make that category. To me, they're part of these flagship wine who are hitting the iconic level of. And I always make sure that you put like the Judge, the Garland from Astor Creek, all of these like top notch. Yeah, this is good. I really like that. Equus is part of that. So that's part of it. So now I'm going to maybe pour a little bit of a treat here.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to try that because that's how we actually got hooked on SKAHA, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we tasted the previous vintage of that Rogue port style wine, and that's when we were like, "Whoa, this is special. We want to taste more of their wine." That was back in December, I think.
Do you want to come here to get a sip of it?
Yeah, I'm coming over.
Bring your ass up here.
I'm over.
Come on,
second.
Come here. And so while Mira comes to get her pour of Rogue, I will just let you know that I'm finishing up the tasting notes for next week. Tinhorn Creek Winery, all of Oliver, BC, on the Golden Mile, formerly from Sandra and Ken Oldfield, used to be the owner a while back and sold their estate to Peller Estate, who also now own Black Hills and Red Rooster and a few others. But what's great with that, with Peller, they leave entire autonomy to each and every vineyard. And now what Tenor just did, he just hired Alejandro. I forgot his last name. He used to be the winemaker at Checkmate. So, yeah, there you
Cheers.
go. Vacation couple here. Woohoo.
You have so much better lighting out here than me in the office.
So yeah, this is that's funny. I would say vacation couple because we've worked almost all day.
But it's because it doesn't feel like work. That's when
it.
you know you're doing the right thing.
That's it. So Tenor just hired the former winemaker at Checkmate Winery. So Tenor are revamping. But what's cool with what's going on with what we're going to offer next week, it's library. When we're talking about 2004, 2005, and 2006 of their old field Merlot, we're talking about 2012, two benches Cabernet. So these are an absolute, like, I'm so excited for next week's offer. So anyway, before we get to next week, we'll finish this week because that's where we're at, and we're having now that's awesome Rogue. The nose is
what? There was just a teeny bit in the glass. I was gonna pour it out. Are you mad? I'll finish it. It's really good. You're right. I shouldn't pour it out.
No, you shouldn't.
Should not.
I know. I get that you're excited to taste the Rogue.
The Rogue,
but
totally.
dry fruit, dark
liqueur,
chocolate.
Liqueur, cook with it, and I think this is too good to cook with. I don't know.
What?
No, you can pour it maybe on a dessert, but
is it put it like? Is it?
She's asking. Is it?
Well, it's not. It's a 20%. No. It's a 20%. It's port style Madeira. Okay, it's more a Madeira style, Spanish style, but 20% alcohol made with 100% Merlot grape. So, well, yes. Oh, yeah, you got it. Ice cream. That's exactly what I was saying here. But they also have a beautiful ice wine, Cabernet Franc ice wine. I would go with the Cap Franc with the vanilla ice cream. This, it's a little bit more like the dark chocolate. You know, like 100% dark chocolate, unsweetened dark chocolate. You get with that. It's perfect. The cigar. If anyone, I don't know, I know it's completely outdated now.
Oh yeah.
But back in the day, there was that like after meal cigar, the boys club, and this. When I tasted that first, that's exactly where it reminded me. There's that caramel and that roasted almond and caramel on the nose was just beautiful. Super compact. Cooked cherries also, or a mix of cherries and plum reduction, who makes it so nice. A caramel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was curious if it's what I remembered it like from the previous vintage, and I mean it's definitely the same kind of wine made by the same kind of people.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
So 16 and 15 and 16. 15 was extremely hot. 16 as well. But these wines, wow, look at that. Look at these legs.
It's beauty. Karen's just saying it pairs well with blue cheese as well, which I totally agree. I can almost taste the blue cheese right now. I would love that.
Linda's regretting to have listened tonight. Like Linda, I think you should. I really think you should, because.
But you know what, Linda? We'll see you, and we'll save some of this Rogue so you can try it out.
Linda, I'll make a deal with you. I'll see you in the next couple days, and I'm gonna bring that with me. Okay, tiny style or vintage style. So this has more power than tawny. Yannick, it's more concentrated. There's more of that.
Anita's asking, not Yannick.
Yannick here.
Oh yeah, Yannick. Okay. Hey Yannick.
So I would say more of the vintage style, in the sense that, because on the collar you can see it's more amber, It's a little lighter on this type, but I would say on the palate, it's more pinpoint, it's more concentrated, and it's definitely more bold than the tawny. So I will go the right in between. So, and what they do, they take the must of the Merlot, they extract the alcohol out of the Merlot, and that's what they pull. They add that alcohol into the Merlot wine, so to make it fortify. So that's the step that they're taking.
That is freaking delicious.
It is freaking delicious. This is, I think it's more than delicious. I think it's really special.
Linda says she's on it, but still
bring the rope. Yeah, I will.
Don't worry.
I will. I think this is such the perfect finish of a meal at the end, because I'm not necessarily the biggest dessert guy. When my meal is kind of perfect. Oh. When my meal, sorry, when my meal is perfect, I like to go for a second serving and test the pairing back and forth. And often I don't have room for dessert, so this to me, that's my treat for dessert. And this one, and as per, there's a few that I like the Tardiva from D'Angelo. It's a late harvest Viognier, but none of the dessert wine from the Okanagan top this row. Now, 2015 was a little bolder, was a top vintage. 16 now follows right into the footstep of the 15, and still, it's my favorite Okanagan dessert wine, and I would say, kind of like by a good step. So, yeah, this is fantastic. The caramel on the nose is just really freaking spectacular.
It is really something else.
It is. It is. Well
Yeah.
done, Sue and Jerry. You guys nailed it on that one. That's for sure. Like anything else. It's funny because if for our members who are listening and are part of the Taste Buds Facebook group, yes, last night one of our member as well, Remy McLaughlin from Montreal, cracked a bottle of the 2012 Merlot, and absolutely that keeps up with some of the top 2012 Merlot, bright, still good to go. That just showed that the age of the SKAHA wines, the aging potential of the SKAHA wines are up there. So, yeah. So my final words here before we let you go, for a couple of reasons. First, because I only have 4% left on my battery. Second, because we have 3 kids waiting for us at the beach. Third is because my business partner looked pretty darn good over there, and I want to go see her. And and third, I want the guys let you go for dinner. But first and foremost, I think SKAHA Vineyard, with such a small production and such a terroir focus, it's in the stage where they're not into the category of the cult wine, but they are in a space where they're setting out every year. They are very sought after from people in British Columbia, and I'm so proud to be part of that team, to help to put their name out there, because people from outside of BC need to know this brand. The wines are terrific. The production is so small, and it's almost getting into that cult, little mysterious, mythic. Like, I had that conversation with Mira. I was like, which term that I can use to just like to showcase people how special they are, and I never find the right exact qualification. I don't know.
It's kind of cult-like, I guess. We talking about mythic, but then you worry that it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think of Harry Potter or something when you talk about mythic things. So, Jennifer's saying the rosé is such a great summer wine, And she was on the ball right early on in this week. So we can't wait to hear what you think, Miriam.
Yes, exactly. And thank you everyone who pointed out the shipping issue. We're sorry about that, but that's who we are. We like to react fast, and it's always about the members. At the end of the day, we're always going to make our decision based on the members benefit. So thank you all for sticking with us, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that beautiful package. Hey, we need to do the draw.
Yeah, I'm just setting it up. So tell people what we found. So basically, we found this at a farmer's market in Sydney, BC.
So what we have here, right here from the island, this is a Canadian honey lemon. It's called Kettle and Higher. It's a lemon tea. So super concentrated. What you do, you put a spoon of that in your cup, pour hot water in there, and it gives you a lemon tea flavor. And yeah, I guess this is not necessarily my what I'm knowledgeable with, but it looked like a pretty cool thing. So Mira's like, wow, this is very different. We need to get that for our draw. I'm like, how much does it cost? No, I'm just joking. I said, yes, I think it's the perfect idea. So we'll go with that. Lemon honey to make your perfect lemon tea. Here we go. Let's get
solution for people who like those nice lemon honey
teas. Let's get to it because I'm going to run out of battery.
Boom. I know that Rogue is just out of this world. Miriam, we were just talking about you. That's fantastic. Look at that. So you won the special tea.
There you go, Myriam Quentin de Québec. À tout notre monde en français. J'ai pas dit un maudit mot en français encore à soir. Désolé. Quand je commence en français, en anglais, des fois, je perds le fil. Ben, tout notre monde en français, un gros merci. Myriam, tu te mérites le prix de la soirée. C'est un thé au citron, un miel thé au citron. On t'envoie ça par la poste. Un gros merci à tous nos amateurs francophones, les supporters, ceux qui croient à la qualité des vins canadiens, comme j'aime ça le dire en anglais, it's world class Canadian wine. Ben, à tout notre monde, à Québec, au Québec, à Montréal, dans la région de l'Estrie, Victoriaville, un beau bonjour tout mon moment, qui manque pas un show, qui nous écoute tout le temps. On apprécie que vous soyez là. Les gens du Nouveau-Brunswick, du nord de l'Ontario, tous les francophones canadiens, on vous apprécie. Et j'essaie d'en faire le plus possible en français. Souvent, là, n'hésitez pas, envoyez-moi une petite note, Carl, en français un petit peu. Puis ça me fait toujours plaisir de switcher en français. S'il y a des gens qui veulent faire des événements en français, laissez-le moi savoir. On est en train de spécialiser à faire des dégustations corporatives, qu'on peut envoyer des vins, soit des vins d'Ontario, soit des vins du BC, à des compagnies du Québec ou des compagnies dans la francophonie pour faire des événements en français. Donc, laissez-le nous savoir. Un gros merci à tout le monde. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm running out of battery. I'm at 2%. That's getting pretty stressful here. Thank you from SKAHA Vineyard, Sue and Jerry, Karen Chapman, all of our friends in BC, and everyone that we're going to meet this week here in Victoria. Have a great evening. Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members. See you next week. Hey, no, tomorrow with Sue and staff.
Tomorrow, Sue Ann.
Tomorrow we're hosting.
Oh my gosh, she is hilarious. And
tomorrow, Sue Ann, we're doing a Cellar Confidential with her. It's going to be amazing. Okay, see you then. Bye.